single arm triceps. We're gonna go 1 minute per side, left arm first. 1 minute has started. I'll talk as I do it. Feet are hip width. Elbows are gonna stay stationary by my side. 4-step rep. I'm tightening my tricep before I move. Squeezing through the range. Controlling all the way back up. One thing you can look at is, if you can see this pulley, look how I have myself aligned in position here. I'm not standing in the middle. I'm standing to what looks like the side, because I'm lining up my elbow, which is the axis, with this pulley, because you want to keep the line of force and the elbow all lined up, because it's the moving part, the moving segment. So when I switch arms, I'll manipulate my body so that my right elbow is right in alignment with that pulley. Holy Moses, this is definitely getting hard. I am in control of the weight. The weight is not in control of me. That is 1 minute. So I'm going to squeeze and hold. And I'm going to control all the way up. And I want you to control all the way up. So if you get to the end and you're here, don't do this. Don't fly up like that. Switch arms, 1 minute. I'm moving my body to where my right elbow is in alignment with the pulley. Tightening before I move. I'll give myself a little delay time since I had that 5-minute little gap period. So one of the benefits here is you can really isolate whichever side you're working. So in this case, it's my right tricep. And I can use all that neurological energy to focus on engaging only my tricep and keeping everything else relaxed. One thing that's kind of advanced that I work on with clients is breathing. If I can hear you breathe really loud, or you're making a lot of noise, if you're making any scene in the gym, you are overexerting yourself and you're overtaxing yourself with your breath. And that is one of the first things you learn training athletes, is that the ability to breathe in exercise is everything. And you don't want to overexhaust yourself with labored breathing. If you know anything about Navy SEAL training, you know that Navy SEALs work on breathing techniques all the time, because breathing controls hormones. Your body releases fear and panic associated with breath. And that's why a lot of times when people are working out and you see them really, and they're doing that, that shit wears you out. Like, that wears you out looking at it. Half of the reason people are doing that dramatic scene where they're flailing around, they can't breathe, is because they won't just freaking embrace the suck. Next time, switch. That's 2 sets left arm, 2nd set right arm. Tighten before I move. I actually really enjoy this single arm, no rest style. Talk about not being able to disengage in your workout. I also think the muscle pumps are insane. And the science of that is that swelling of the muscle that creates the pump, other than just it feels good, that's what helps the whole hypertrophy process in building muscle. That muscle pump is cellular inflammation. Holy freak. And that cellular inflammation creates the need to rebuild and repair, and it stimulates the metabolic byproducts that help build muscle. Holy Moses. All right, round 3. No rest. Left arm. I want you to Monitor yourself about your own positioning. Are you keeping your elbows stationary? Are you engaging the muscle that we're working in? Are you keeping your spine still? The only moving part on this is my forearm. Everything else is pretty much still. That takes a lot of body control. I would say my abs are pretty engaged. I don't say tighten your core a lot, because my opinion of that is you should pretty much always be that way. So if you don't hear me say it, it's just because I'm so programmed to already kind of tighten my abs that it's just innate. Oh man, I will not be able to finish and keep form. So I'm just gonna squeeze and not move. Round 3, right side. This is where all the freaking magic is right here. As you get tired, this is where the stakes are higher for building muscle. So if you bail on these sets, that's why some people look the way they do and others don't. Because these are the sets where when they suck the most, that it matters the most to stay in the game. I will be dropping the weight. So apparently my right tricep is weaker and my left bicep is weaker. So we have opposites, which is also relatively typical for the flexion and extension deficits to be opposite limbs. I'm not 100% sure why, but it's pretty, I got nothing left. 5 seconds, I'm just gonna keep squeezing. I'm not losing form, so I could finish the rep, but I couldn't do it with good technique. So I'm not gonna force it. That's the way I want you to train yourself. That's when people get hurt. Round 4, left side, 1 minute. If you notice my elbow behind my rib cage, if I ever bias one way or the other, it's biasing the elbow being back as far as forward to pre-shorten that long head of my tricep. The biggest mistake I want you to avoid, I'm going to show you on this rep. So when you get to right here and you come up, don't allow yourself to do this. Keep that elbow back. Make it suck for your tricep the whole way up by isolating the joint. That's a lot of discipline right there. This is week 6, so I'm expecting just a little bit more from you. Time is up. Start the time. Here we go. Exercise or set 4, right side. You got to admit, this is fun right here. I mean, there is no place I would rather be than right here, right now. And I'm dead serious. I love this. I absolutely love this. I don't think I've always felt that way. I think anybody can love it. Holy crap, I got 25 seconds. That is bad news for this right arm. This is why cables are a huge benefit here. I can easily drop a weight. This right side, man, it is not feeling this today. The mind is there, the tricep is not. Ooh, holy sheesh. 2 seconds, that was the longest minute in history. I'm gonna go back up for this side because it's not struggling as much. There is an interesting phenomena in strength training called the crossover effect. And I learned about this training athletes that had a single side that was impaired. And I've learned this from people who are paralyzed and working with them, that you can train one side and get strength benefits on the opposite side. And it's bizarre, but it is an actual physiological mechanism because it has to do with the motor unit recruitment of your brain. And so you can get So I just raise the weight on this left side, which is different than what I'm using on my right side, because I know that by stimulating this side to a higher degree, I can strengthen my right side due to extra motor unit recruitment overall. So if you have an athlete who hurts, like let's say their right shoulder and they can't lift, you can lift their left shoulder. They can do like left-sided chest presses, for instance, and get strength gains on the opposite side. So I've always thought that was super cool how the body works. Because, you know, you'll hear people say, well, you don't want to get, you're just building more of a strength deficit. It's actually not true. This is the last set. So if you have somebody who's had an ACL repair, you can do one-legged leg extensions on the opposite quad and get strength benefits on the quad that can't contract because they can't, their knee is immobilized. Come on, right side, let's go. You gotta step your game up. 15 seconds, health got a freaking drop. Amazing. Four seconds. Not that I care. 2, 1. Oh, it's fine. Okay, so that was 5 sets. It felt like 10 sets, but I guess it was 5. Each arm